Hi, this is Cole.
And Michelle.
And for those of you who don't know,
We're
building a house. So this video is going to be showing what the plans look like, and also you'll see later on we'll have a video of what the actual property looks like and kind of what the layout is going to be. So this right now is just going to be the blueprints, just so everybody can see what it's going to look like. So to start, you can see here, this is what the front and back is going to look like. But keep in mind that we are going to be making changes to this blueprints for the final version.
Yeah. So for the front of the house, you see where this nice shrubbery is? It's actually going to be a window here, as well as a window up here. So we're going to make it look a little more traditional with the colonial. We do have an asymmetric door, so Cole and I thought that we want to balance that out a little bit by having additional windows here, and it fits with the indoor plans that you'll see later.
Yep, and then also one of the changes that we're going to do is the whole house is going to be flipped. So on the final plans, the garage is going to be over here, and this house is basically just going to be, I guess, because Michelle had to visualize it when we were like originally looking at plans. The way that we figured it was like, that's what it's going to look like.
Yes.
is the garage is going to be over here. The floor plan is going to be completely flipped. So when you're looking at the interior and the floor plan for the first and second floors and so forth, just keep in mind everything is going to be flipped. But just for ease of use and ease of reference on this video, we'll look at it the normal way. All right, so you want to pull up
indoor?
I guess this is what the side is going to look like, but this is the garage. But what we'll probably do is instead of the outdoor access of the garage, we'll probably be on the back of the garage. On the back of the garage, it'll probably be over here somewhere in the middle. And then also another thing that I forgot to mention is this will probably be bumped over about 6 feet, and we'll have a little outdoor right here. That will just be an access to the garage from the outside, and then the entryway will be in here. You'll see it. We'll see it. We'll show you. So this is the first floor plan. So the house is a colonial, and like you saw on the front, the door was moved over a little bit, so it's going to be a little bit changed around. Not a traditional colonial. The door is not going to be right smack in the center because of the way that the staircase is.
And additionally, it's not a traditional colonial because if you look, when you usually walk into a colonial, you have a den space, you have your family room, your dining room, your kitchen's in the back. And so we opted for a plan that has the kitchen in the front. So this is all kitchen. And for a plan that didn't have a den to the right here, but we did extend the size of this half bath to include a washer dryer space and a fairly large entryway.
Yep, and so like the plans don't show, but we will once we get the final plans. There's going to be a door here for the garage, and then there's going to be a little platform here, as you can see, and then the door to the entryway right here, and then this is the entryway. And then the hallway will go all the way across to the kitchen and then down here into the family room. And again, this plan for the garage is kind of not right because it doesn't show that entryway here, and then also it shows the garage doors coming in from the side over here. We toyed around with that idea, but I think in the end we're going to have the garage doors come in through the front.
And the reason we made that decision is because of what we will talk about when we go to the land, that the front of the house faces south. So if we were to put the driveway on the side, in the main winter, it wouldn't thaw the ice as quickly, and we'd have to put a curve in the driveway, which is more expensive to install as well.
Yep, and the part where the driveway would come in on the side is really wet and would require a lot of grading in the land and culverts so that the driveway could drain the water, and that's just too much work. The other benefit of having the kitchen in the front is that, so this is like a kitchen island, and so right now it's showing that there's like a little bar with stools facing inward. We're actually going to flip that and make it facing outwards so that these two windows here will look right out the front of the house and look across the field. And when we get to the second part of the video, you'll be able to see what our view is going to be from our kitchen looking out towards the field.
And if we just want to make one note on this kitchen, we liked this plan most because it has the largest kitchen, and Cole and I right now are coming from a very large, but one bedroom apartment. It's kind of like a studio, and so our kitchen is probably half the size of this kitchen, but it has
probably less than half.
Probably less than half, and probably has less than a quarter of the counter space that is in this kitchen. So
and no cabinets. It's all like open shelves.
So we dreamed big with our kitchen and decided to go that route.
Plus, both of us like to cook and bake, and we have a lot of appliances that reflect that, and we need space for them.
Yeah, and so you'll also see in the family room that we have, we want to do a hearth in the family room with most likely a wood stove to start, but we want to eventually make that a full fireplace.
Yep, and right now too, this is just a plan that we're going off of. It's not the final plan. Obviously, like we said, things will be flipped, but you'll see here that the length of the wall here is 26 feet. We're going to bump it back to 28 feet, so you can see here there's not a little notch in this wall right here is actually going to go all the way back, and so because of that, this fireplace is not centered. In the final plans, this final place will be centered with the family room here, so we'll have an extra 2 feet running all the way back, and then right here it's showing that there is a door that is like a sliding door that goes to the backyard. We're going to put the sliding door in the center here, so that the dining room is more of a closed space. And then future plans, maybe not future plans, depending on how we set it up when we first build, is on either side of the fireplace, we'd like to kind of have built-in shelves or built-in cabinet and shelves, just so that we can, store books and lamps and cool things, and maybe mount the TV on the mantle above the fireplace. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So this is the second floor. So coming up the stairs here, like we said, we're going to be adding a window in the center there. The outside does not show. And then this is the walk-in closet for the master bedroom. We are going to be bumping that out another foot or two, so that we can fit that window in there, but also that increases the space of the walk-in closet.
For all of my shoes.
Yes, so Michelle gets the walk-in closet in the master bedroom, and then I'll be getting this little tiny closet over here.
It's not tiny.
And then on the back side of this closet is going to be the well for the the fireplace. It's going to be basically a space, and then we'll have a little thing here, and then this shows a bathtub. We're probably just going to have a big shower.
5-foot shower, because again, we're extending the back out 1 foot, so it will be a 5-foot shower.
And then we have our toilet. We're not sure yet what the vanity is going to be, if we're going to do double sink or one sink, or Michelle shaking your head, yes, she wants a double sink. And then on this side, we have the 2 bedrooms or offices or workout spaces, or whatever you want to call them, or whatever we're going to make them, I guess.
Yeah. But you can see that both bedrooms are sizable. We also like this plan because as much as there might be space on the second floor to fit a 4th bedroom, we didn't feel as though that was necessary. So bedroom number 2 is 16 by 13.6, which is comparable size to the master, really.
Yeah, and we are cutting into it a little bit with the closet.
Slightly.
But they have a good closet that's, abutting the staircase right there. And the closet for this one here. So this one's a front with 2 windows. This one's a back with 2 windows. And there's also a side window on that front one as well. So here's the basement. And so, as you can see, it comes up this way. And then here's the whole space here. These are support beams to hold up the floor above, which is pretty normal. But what I wanted to kind of do is put in like a little mop sink, or like a what is it called?
A bar sink?
A little bar, not a bar sink, no, like
a utility sink.
Utility sink, yes. So I wanted to put in a little utility sink, so that I can brew my beer down in the basement, and then we have space back here to eventually finish the basement. It's obviously not going to be done when we first build the house, but we'll have the opportunity to. Here is where The chimney will go down to the basement, and then this is the garage access stairs that will go up to the garage level. And yeah, I mean, it's not a finished basement yet, but I think future 5 years, 10 years, however many years down the road, we'll want to finish the basement, and we'll have that water hookup down there to tap into if you want to make a little bar or
an in-law suite or something that's accessible outside of the main house if
Yep.
they wanted to come through the garage or
so that is centered. That is the house. So like I said, we're going to be adding windows here and here, the closet here, the master bedroom's over here, this is the kitchen over here, and this is that first floor bedroom, and then on the other side of this, on the back side, is the second bedroom, and then the whole master suite is on this side, front to back. And that's it. Now let's go to the land, go to the outdoor portion.
Let's go.
Hi. So we're going to do a little bit of a tour of where the house is going to go and the view that we'll have and kind of where the layout and what's going to be done in these like opening processes that we're going through.
Yep.
Okay. So this is where the lot is going to be. There's not a whole lot happening in there right now. The trees that have the marks on them, those are the trees that we're going to save, and then everything else in there is pretty much getting cut. If you see way down in there, that's where those orange stakes are. So those, some of the orange stakes are the setbacks from the property line and the road, and then some of the other stakes are where the actual footprint of the building is going to be. And right now, we have it pointed almost directly south, a little bit southwest, so that we can face this field right here. So that back line, way back there, and then the line kind of follows this little kind of gully, so hi Michelle. And so this is going to be our view out of our front door. You can see right over there, that's where I have the hops being grown for home brewing. They're Cascade hops, in case anybody's wondering. And then that little raised bed right there was put in this year. That is garlic that we planted this fall. It's overwintering right now, so they should be the first things to sprout up first thing in the spring. Depending on how warm it is, they may even sprout up while there's still snow on the ground. So this road right here is the road that's going to come in. Right now my dad has all of the firewood from the various trees that have fallen down over the years on the property, and he's sold some of it, turned some into boards, and then the rest is firewood, and sold some of it for pulp too. And then that's some storage for my dad's work stuff. And then there's raised bed over there, which is where he grows rhubarb. And then this right here is where my parents have their garden. They grow squash, pumpkins, potatoes, cucumbers, broccoli, cabbage, tomatoes, beets, carrots. Anything else? String beans?
I can't think of anything else. Peas?
Peas? No, I don't think they've done peas anymore recently.
I lied.
And then in that further, you can see some stakes over there. That's where my dad wants to build a big barn as well. And then if you look down in that field, there's a couple old apple trees in that corner. That was also a possibility of where we could have built the house, is tucked in that back corner, but we decided to have the better view of the field over here. Oh, and you can see some logs right there, some trees. Basically, all the stuff that's getting put out, cut down in here, is going to be sorted on the grass right here in front of the garden, and then the guys are going to come and take it with the logging trucks and, have it for pulp or have it for logs or what have you.
These are the trees that Cole, his father, and I cleared last weekend. So I don't know which specific one it was, but one of these was me. First time with the chainsaw. It was probably about this size. But the rest of these were all them.
Yeah,
You
we.
see multiple stacks around.
Yeah, there's stacks over there. There's stacks way back there. There's more stacks way back there. We basically went around and cut all the small brush and trees that we weren't going to save so that the logging trucks can get in here and not get, caught up on the small stuff and so forth. So, this right here, and then that one, I don't know if you can see that orange one way down there, this one here, and then that one right in front with just one and the one behind it, those are the setback from the road where we can legally put the house. So the road right now is not, a town road in compliance with town rules of how roads should be constructed. Right now it's just a private road for access to the property. But once we get power lines put in, the road will have to be widened and it'll have to be graded a specific way so that if we want the town to eventually take over the road and its maintenance and plowing and drainage and power and all that, then we'll have to make sure that the road is in compliance before any of that happens. So if we build a house along this road, we have to prepare for it to be in compliance. So we have to have the house set back from the road a certain amount. I think it's 100 feet?
I think it's 75.
75?
75. And then 50 from the back property line.
Yep, so the back property line, if you can see, is a rock wall way back there. So we have to be set, what'd you say?
50.
50 off of that. And we have plenty of space. So yeah. Now, if we go a little bit further here, so these double ribboned stakes are where right now we're thinking the house is going to go. So this ribbon right here and this ribbon right here, and then where's the back? So basically Michelle is standing inside the garage. I don't see the stakes for the back of the garage though. Oh, it's behind that tree right there. And so that's the back corner of the garage. And then now we're standing inside the garage. And then there's another double stake over there. And another double stake over there. That's going to be the house. So yeah. The rock wall goes all the way back there. And then at some point, the rock wall is no longer the property line, and it's just a line in the woods that goes back out to our road. And then our road is kind of like a right-of-way that goes into this field in the back. So we'll be deeded off this part of the property from the back of the lot to this edge of this road to the back of the property line over here to that little shed right there, which is where we're parked. So that's right now where my dad keeps his tractor and some wood that he's milled from the trees that have been falling on the land, and just some miscellaneous, farming equipment. So our property line is going to go up to the edge of that that lot right there, that little thing. What are you doing? What? Oh, yes. Yes, let's go look at the wall. What are you looking at?
I was looking at the tree we're keeping. This large one.
Oh, yes. This
Those are the bigger ones.
big oak tree is on the back of the property. It's not leaning towards the house, and it's too far away from the house to really fall and hit it. So we're going to keep that one. But yeah, this is the rock wall. It's in pretty rough shape. And so what the plan is, long term, is to
Rebuild the rock wall
Yeah.
here and get extra stone if we have to do any blasting or just rearrange what we do have.
so that the backyard will have a nicer looking line than a gross, I don't know,
Unkempt.
rock wall. You know, we'll come in once the house is done, obviously, and we'll come in and repair this rock wall so it looks nice and beautiful. And then, yeah, like Michelle was saying, you want to talk about the blasting?
Yeah, so we're not exactly sure what's
Underneath all of this brush, but there are probably going to be at least a handful of rocks, but hopefully we're not on ledge. So whoever's watching this in Maine, there's a lot of unforeseen kind of rock and ledge and granite and all of that fun stuff underneath a lot of properties. So we just don't know what we're working with necessarily, but so far we've only been able to find one rock that's about 3 feet long.
Yep, it's right there.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that is just a rock and not part of the ledge that's underneath all of this. Because if we have to blast, then, you know, we'll have to, you know, get TNT and
incur that cost as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if we do end up blasting, then we'll have a lot of rocks to rebuild the rock wall with. There. So this property is kind of ledgy. So we haven't had this property surveyed yet, and we're not really going to have a full idea until the spring once we start digging the foundation if there's ledge or not. Because you can't dig the foundation in the winter because the ground's kind of frozen. Can't dig it in the early spring because everything is thawing and muddy and wet. So we have to wait for the end of the mud season before we can even dig a hole in the ground. But we can do a lot of stuff like, you know, get down the trees and, you know, finalize the blueprints and pick out all of the appliances and hardwood and all kinds of that fun stuff. Let's go look at the tree that Michelle cut down. It's that one right there.
Yeah.
See that little tiny... Well,
See that giant tree that I cut down? It's giant.
yes. So I might be able to put the video in this
You probably
of
could.
Michelle cutting it down.
Guys, it was like the ceremonial cutting of the ribbon, if we're being honest. I work in finance. I don't technically cut down trees ever. So I took it as an opportunity to use a chainsaw for the first time and chop down this bad boy. And it was pretty awkward looking, but I still did it.
Pretty graceful.
Yes, I'm nothing if not graceful like a ballerina. So, yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
No, on the top.
Yeah.
No, other way.
Ow.
You want to hold it on that side, yeah, because you're going to go sideways. Yep. Get closer. Keep going.
Hold on. I don't like
It's going.
Do I have to push?
You don't have to. Here. So basically I'm standing in the middle of the garage looking towards the road, and then the driveway is going to go out this way, and then it's going to curve slightly to meet the road over there. So there's a ditch and a culvert over here, which is just kind of like drainage, and the culvert goes under the little road there, and you can see that like little green path that goes to the gully. That's actually a stream, and so our driveway is going to come out to right about camera center right there. So that's where the driveway is going to go. So the other thing that we're planning on doing, and we're not sure if we're going to do this right from the start of the house once it's built, or if we're going to do it you know, a year or 2 or 3 later. I guess it's going to depend on how federal tax credits and, you know, how much we want to spend up front versus how much, you know, we want to save for later. But eventually we want to have solar. So I kind of mentioned it earlier on, but the house is going to be south facing this way. So the sun comes across like this and is going to be facing the front of the house pretty much from dawn till dusk. And so it is an optimum position for solar panels. And so we put solar panels on the top of the roof, which will be like right here, and have a battery backup from the solar that's always charged. So if we lose power in a snowstorm or a windstorm, or if like a tree falls over and knocks out power, we'll have a solar battery backup, to keep the fridge cold and keep the heat going in the winter. Yeah. We'll have hookups for a generator if we don't have the solar set up right away. But if we have the solar set up right away, then if the power goes out, then it'll be green energy that will, be able to consume feeding into the house. Solar panel technology has come a long way, even in the last 5 years. So I think some of the stuff that we've looked at, the efficiencies, is supposed to, still have 85% efficiency of the panels over 30 years, 20 to 30 years.
I think it's 20, but yeah.
I think it depends on the brand and the type, and there are different types and so forth. So there's still more research to be done, but solar is definitely something we've talked about that that we want to do. So yeah.